Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to MGFA's Wellness Series webinar, Hacks for Living with MG. My name is Jenna Umvalo. I'm the Director of Patient Advocacy and Community Engagement at MGFA, and I'll be moderating today's session. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. Thank you for joining us today. We're happy to have such a large turnout. We ask that you utilize the mute feature during the presentation, and please submit your questions via the Zoom chat located on the Zoom menu bar. We're going to answer the questions during the Q&A segment. Today's session will be recorded and available online. I'd like to give special thanks for the support of our Wellness Series presenting sponsors, Alexion, Argenix, Momenta, and UCB, and our supporting sponsor, Immunovant. We've got a great presentation ahead, and now it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Kim Eldridge. Kim's advocacy journey began 20 years ago when her health declined just after her son was born. Diagnosed in 2011, Kim began her journey to learn everything that she could about MG. She now works to help others learn what to ask, how to assess their care, and helps guide them along their journey. Kim serves as an MGFA board member, chair of our advocacy committee, and runs her local support group. She works as an IT subject matter expert for an insurance company. Kim, thanks for joining us. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much for that great introduction, Jenna. And thank everybody. Thanks for coming today. It's great to have the opportunity to share this with you guys. Hopefully you learn something new or come up with an idea that helps you get through your everyday life with MG, because we need some life hacks, right? We don't have the energy, and it takes us a lot longer to get common things done. So hopefully everybody learns at least something today. And now I will share my screen. And all right, there we go. So technology is what I do. So of course, this is probably my favorite piece of life hacks for those with MG. I want to start with the upper left. We've got Alexa and Google Smart Home. Those are virtual assistants, and I know it can be kind of scary to start taking on new technology, but I'm here to tell you, and I actually should have unplugged my Alexa because she's probably going to respond while I keep saying her name. But they're really great virtual assistants. Some of the things that you can do with these products are smart plugs. You can use smart plugs to control lights in your house. It makes it easier, don't have to get up and down to turn on the lights. They can connect to your television. You can, just about anything that you can think of, you can connect to a smart plug. The smart plug connects to your Alexa or your Google Smart Home. And all you have to do is say, Alexa, turn the lights on, or Alexa, turn the lights off. I love this feature. I use it quite a bit myself.
I'm not sure which lights you want.
And now she just answered me. But it's super easy to set up, and you definitely should not be afraid to give these a try. A lot of these are also compatible with a lot of cameras that you can have at home. I like to use those for when I'm out of town. Not that a lot of us are traveling right now, but it's great to have peace of mind to be able to check on your house when you're away. But also, you can see if you've got a noise outside your house. If you've got a camera, you can check the camera. The Ring doorbells, all of those video type doorbells are really, really good for that too. That way you don't answer the door every time a salesperson comes. You can see when your packages are dropped off. And so it can definitely save you some getting up and down out of your chair, or if you've got to travel through, steps to get to your front door. I love it for that. Another great device is going to be the Nest and Ecobee thermostats. These are basically a remote control type of thermostat. You can monitor it from an app on your phone. You can make sure the temperature is set right before you get home, or if you leave and you've forgotten to adjust the temperature, you can do that. You can also set a range on these thermometers, on thermostats, to tell you, hey, there's a problem because it's too hot in the house or it's too cold in the house. It's a great way to, if you travel or, leave the house a lot, you want to know, right, that, hey, my furnace just went out on the coldest day of the year. And I've had that happen. So that is why I really highly recommend you look at these types of thermostats. Another great feature that you can take advantage of are going to be power assist recliners and power beds. Sometimes these can be covered by your insurance, so you always want to check with them first. But a lot of us have trouble getting up out of a chair or getting out of bed, and sometimes even just getting comfortable in bed. Both of these can help with, making it easier for you to be mobile, help you get out of the chair, help you get out of the bed in the morning. Some additional, I guess, technology along this line too are the robot vacuums. And you can find these in all kinds of price ranges. Some of the brands that you've probably heard of are going to be Roomba and Neato. These are one of my favorite devices because they can connect to your home virtual assistant device like Alexa, or they can also run from an app on your phone. So when you notice that you've got, especially if you've got pets like I do, you start noticing you've got a little fur rolling around the house, you can just tell Alexa to run the vacuum, or you can open the app and tell it to start cleaning. When they're done, they go back to their charging base and they're ready for the next time. So I definitely love mine. It saves me a lot of energy, especially when you have 4 cats. Robot mops. These are also another great tool that you can use. And a lot of these you can find that are refurbished. So you're not paying, a high retail price, but watch for sales, watch for special promotions on them. They are definitely a great energy saver. Now, maybe the robots aren't really what you're after. You can also look at some dual use devices. Things like the Bissell Crosswave, Swiffer, Sweep and Vac, those both vacuum and mop. So it's not like you're getting the vacuum out or a broom and doing that first and then going back and mopping. I love devices like this that make it easy to do everything you need in one step. And even just the lightweight stick vacs that I'm sure you've seen for years, they have come so far in how well they clean, and they're easy to move. If you need to carry them up and down the stairs, that's much easier to do. You can get them that are rechargeable or that are electric, and they're just so much easier, especially if you've got crooks and corners of the room, you've got some cobwebs you need to get. That kind of stuff is easier to lift overhead and clean. So I definitely like that. I've got a stick vac that I use actually down here for my home office. Another option is to look at hiring a cleaning service. When people hear that, they immediately think, well, I can't afford that. But you would be surprised how affordable they are. They can come when you want them, however often, or as little. If you want them to come once a month, clean the big things that cause you the worst fatigue, then go ahead and talk to them, see what they can work out with a once a month or once a week if you feel like you need more. But it's actually much more affordable now. There are a lot of local companies that are doing this type of cleaning service. Check it out. It is definitely something that's worth looking into. So another great option, and I want to reiterate too, a lot of these have come from our community. We have such a great community, and this is a hot topic. So this one came from one of those community discussions, but cleaning our showers are just, that's a very difficult thing. I think we can all agree. So rethink some of the things that you do. One suggestion, get a long handled brush. I know what I have is a very long handled, it's got a scrubby, rough textured type sponge on the end of it. And I use that to clean my shower. It's so much easier than hands and knees trying to clean out your tub. And one suggestion was even a mop. So it saves you the bending and stooping and crouching. And sometimes if we get down on our knees like that, we may not be getting back up. So definitely look at any of those things that have like a longer handle. The mop idea is great, especially if you're using it with something that'll eat through that soap scum, so you don't really have to scrub as much. Another really good tip for that is a daily shower cleaner. So maybe you have the cleaning service. They come in, they clean your bathroom. It's beautiful, and you want to keep it that way as long as you can. So a daily shower spray can cut down on the buildup of soap scum and all that nasty stuff we hate, and the stuff that makes you have to scrub. If you don't want to purchase one, if you're concerned about chemicals that are in it, there are actually a lot of good recipes online about how to make your own from very simple items that you have in your household. Just always make sure that you're not mixing anything you shouldn't, but I have found some great recipes out there for daily shower cleaners. All right, so moving on, get your Z's. We all know how sleep is so important to us. And if we don't get a good night's rest, then the next day we are worthless. So a couple of tips for that. A lot of us can't sleep lying flat on our backs. It makes it really difficult for us to breathe. So in addition to, if you're using a BiPAP or a Trilogy, consider using bed risers. You put them at the head of your bed under the feet, and it actually lifts the top of the bed so that you're sleeping at an angle. If you don't like that idea, you can also look at a wedge. Places like Bed Bath & Beyond sell wedges, and it just puts you on an incline so that your head is elevated, and it makes it much easier to breathe. One of my favorite things I found is an inflatable travel wedge. I take it everywhere with me. It's really easy. You can either get ones that have a pump to blow it up. This one, you actually blow it up yourself, but it's a super easy, even though I'm short of breath a lot, it's even easy for me to fill up, and it folds down very compactly and fits right in my suitcase anywhere I go. Another thing is a bedside storage caddy. Keep things close to you that you need when you are, off to bed or trying to go to bed. You can keep your book that you're reading right there. You can keep your phone charger, your medications, things like that. And a lot of those will hook right into the side of the bed, like between the mattresses. There's a very large selection of that kind of stuff, but it's great because it keeps everything in one easy to reach location. And if you're like me, once I get in bed, I get my BiPAP on, I don't want to have to get up and go hunt for things because it's a pain, right? Another problem can be getting too hot when you sleep or too hot when you're trying to go to sleep, especially during the summer months. We think about this a lot when we've been outside or during the day, but it helps at night too to do a cool, damp cloth on your forehead and your wrists before you go to bed. It helps cool the body, and when we're cooler, we sleep better. I love this one that I found on one of it was a sleep website, and it was freeze your pillowcase. I laughed when I read it, but I mean, think about it. A nice, cool place to lay your head down. It's going to be very relaxing and help you fall asleep faster. They also have cooling pillows if you'd prefer to go that route. Another good option, cooling pajamas. I first heard about these actually from my sister, and so thank you, Cindy, for that. But cooling pajamas are usually made of a breathable material that is going to keep you cooler at night while you're sleeping. So I've actually bought a few of these and I really like them. It does make a difference for me. And you can just, again, Google that too. And you've got a lot of different brands. I know for women, one of the brands that I've liked is Soma. So definitely worth looking into. Laundry. Laundry is probably one of the worst things. Maybe after cleaning the bathroom, I don't know. It takes a lot of energy for us to get our laundry done. A great recommendation is to get a clothes hamper with wheels. Now this can come in a variety of forms. I've seen some great ones where they've got the hanging bar on top and the 3 separate bins on the bottom for you to sort your clothes into. That's great for wheeling it back and forth to the bedroom, or back and forth from the bedroom to the washing machine. If you do have, like I do, your washer is in the basement, then get smaller baskets. Don't try to carry a big, heavy basket. They make ones that are form fitted that actually curve around your hips, so those are easier to carry. And don't overload them, right? Take down just whatever load you're doing right now, and don't make it really heavy to carry up and down the steps if you do have steps. Now, this is something, my dad used to do this, and I didn't even realize that they would do this, but laundromats aren't just for taking your clothes and, putting quarters in the machine and washing. A lot of them actually provide the service to wash, dry, and fold your clothes. I think the folding the clothes part is the best. For me personally, the clothes get washed, they get dried. They may not get folded. So I'm sure a lot of us, you're done by the time you get to that folding stage. So you stare at them in the basket for probably longer than you should, but look into that. A lot of laundromats do offer that service. Kitchen. I absolutely love to cook, but like many of you guys, I don't always have the energy to do it. I'm in a couple of groups that have some great ideas around, how do I make it easier to cook? And especially because we know we are what we eat, and if we want to eat better, we need to prepare fresh food. So a food processor, number one, maybe on my list. It's pretty important. It's great whether you want to just chop things up. It can mix things, including flour. You can put a flour mix into your food processor, turn it on, and it serves to mix it up. Choppers. They make choppers in multiple different versions. You can get the kind that are like a hand crank. You can get the kind that has the blade inside and you put a piece on top and it's electric and you just pulse it. And then they've got the ones that are more mechanical that you slam down essentially onto the food you're chopping. But that's a great energy saver. So you're not standing there slicing and dicing with your knife. A crock pot. I think everybody should own a crock pot. I use mine mostly in the winter, but it's just such a great convenient way to throw all your food in. And for me, then I go to work usually, finish my day, and dinner's ready. I love that option. A stand mixer. A lot of people don't realize that a stand mixer has a lot of options too. I know for mine, I have a KitchenAid, and you can get attachments that go on the front that will slice your vegetables, grate your vegetables. It'll do cheeses and all that kind of stuff too. You can even make homemade pasta relatively easily with a stand mixer when it's got the attachment for the pasta. I love my pasta attachment. I wish I used it more than I have so far, but it's wonderful if you ever want to try to do that kind of stuff. Jar openers. I know many people have this issue. It's not just me, but we have weak hands. So you're trying to get that jar open. And for me, I usually turn to my son and he just thinks that's hilarious. But a lot of jar openers you can get that have multiple different sizes. So they can open all kinds of jars and down to bottle caps. I think that is really a valuable tool for the kitchen. It's, you know, banging the lid on the counter isn't always the best way. So look at the jar openers and find one that works for you. I also use just, we call it a grippy at my house, but it's pretty much just a little grippy pad that will fit over the top that helps you get leverage on it. A retro step stool. My grandmother, when I was growing up, had a step stool that I absolutely loved, and I had to buy one for myself as well. It is a high top stool with a back, and so you can sit in it. You can sit in it to sit at your counter and, you know, chop your vegetables or prepare whatever you're trying to do there, stirring at the stove. But it's also a step stool, so the bottom of it pulls out. You've got a couple of stairs to step up, so it's a great multi-purpose I guess tool. But it's great if you need a high stool to sit and work at the counter with as well. So I really enjoy mine. And the Instant Pot. Instant pots are all the rage right now. Everybody, I think, has one. If you don't, you're probably like me then. You're a little behind. But everybody that has them loves them. They are really good at cooking meals quickly. So whereas your crock pot, it's going to take 4 to 6 hours or so to cook something, an Instapot cuts down the cooking time. And there are a lot of great recipes and groups out there right now. So if you're looking to find more things to cook in your Instapot, check out those groups and, you know, share it. Let people know. If you find a great recipe, share it out. It's a pretty cool thing. Another good tip, cut up your fruits and vegetables. So you go to the grocery at the beginning of the week, go ahead, you know you're going to use onions, go ahead and chop up your onions, whether that's in your chopper, your food processor, or if you're doing it by hand, do it while you have the energy. Prepare food and meals in bulk. That goes without saying. Make more. That goes with the cooking for two and doubling the recipe. Make more than what you need for just a single meal so that you can have leftovers. You've got a quick meal then in the refrigerator to heat up the next night if you're not feeling so good, or for lunch. A lot of people also like to cook a large amount of meat in advance. So if you're cooking some chicken, go ahead and put some more in, put some more chicken breasts in with it, do some thighs, and then you've got a lot of your meat prepared for the week, and all you have to do is add it to your meals and season it up and you're good. And that works with a lot of different meats. Another thing with meals and the kitchen, doing the dishes, right? That even though dishwashers make our lives so great, sometimes you still don't have the energy, especially if you've just had to cook a meal. So a lot of folks like to use paper plates, plastic utensils, things like that. Another good one, if you've got any kind of hand weakness, look at utensils with the chunky handles. They're designed for people that have grip issues or other disabilities, and they can work really well for those of us that may have hand weakness issues when it comes to trying to eat. All right, so getting food and supplies. This, especially right now in the time of COVID, is a huge challenge for all of us. For me, I have not stepped foot inside a grocery store since sometime last year. So I was already using ClickList with Kroger when all of this started. So I obviously just continued on with that. But the curbside pickup options are really great options. I listed a few on here that I know that do it. I've had experience with ClickList and Target, Prime Now, and Lowe's personally, and they've all been good experiences. With ClickList, you can put in an order on your app, you can put it in on your computer, and then pick a date that you want to go pick it up, and they'll have it ready. They bring it out to your car, and you don't even have to have contact. Target was similar in that, you know, they've got designated parking. You go, you tell them you're there, and when you're ordering from the app or from your computer, you have an option to select if you want delivery or if you want to pick it up. And you can also do in-store pickup if that's what you prefer. I right now don't really want to be inside a store with anyone. So for me, my preference was curbside pickup, and it worked out very well. They came out with masks on. I asked them to put it in the back. I have an SUV. I just popped the back, no contact. So it's a great experience. Prime Now, depending on where you live, it depends on what stores you will get included in Prime Now. Prime Now is part of Amazon. I absolutely love it though for getting some of the things that I need. I have to be gluten-free, so it's a great option for me to get some of the things that maybe I can't get at Kroger or one of the other stores. I also know that Home Depot, I didn't have them on the slide, they also do the pickup. And like I said, I've done it at Lowe's. It was another good experience. The guys came out, they were masked. I asked them to put it in the trunk. They did, and I was on my way. Now, delivery services have really taken off in this time of COVID. I've had a lot of experience with everyone on this list, actually. So all of them work very similarly in that Instacart, for example, if you create an account with them, they will show you what stores in your area that you can shop from. So it could be CVS Pharmacy, it could be even Total Wine and More, but it just depends on your area. And it's the service where they go shopping for you. They will tell you if it's out of stock, do you want a replacement, and then they bring it to you. And you can do all of that through no contact. Same thing with Prime Now and Shipt. The others on the list, Grubhub, DoorDash, and Postmates, and Delivery.com, those do the food delivery. So if you want to order from a restaurant, all of those, typically you log in, it's the same type of thing. You can see what restaurants are offered. In my experience, they will have different offerings. I can find things on DoorDash that are not on Postmates, and vice versa. So it can be a challenge sometimes to find, to figure out which one to use. But basically, if you log in and look, it'll show you the list of all of the restaurants that are available in your area. And then the restaurant too may have it on their website that, hey, we use delivery with Grubhub or DoorDash. And I'm sure everybody's seen all the DoorDash commercials that are on right now too. Chewy.com, I have to say, is a great source if you need pet food or pet supplies of any kind. They, if you spend $49, you get free delivery, and it's there in 2 days. So it's great if you need to get heavy stuff, especially like for me, cat litter, cat food. I get those delivered in bulk, and I don't have to try and get them into my cart at the grocery or anything like that. Meal delivery services. So this is something that's taken off a lot, probably over the past year or so, but you actually can get the materials, the food, delivered to you to make certain meals. I've used Sunbasket and Daily Harvest, but I know people that have used a number of these, and they're all very similar. Usually there's no subscription fee. You just sign up for however many meals you want per week. And then every week, or depending on how you get your shipment, but you get a menu and you go through and choose which meals you want to prepare that week. And then they send you everything that you need. They send you the seasonings, they send you the protein, whether it's vegetarian or, you know, whatever meat you've chosen. And then they send you the sides. So in my experience, it has been great for those times when I just don't know what to cook. I don't feel like I have time and energy to devote to finding recipes and being creative on my own. So with the delivery services, they kind of help take some of that burden, but they also help with the grocery shopping aspect because they're sending the food to you fresh. And I've had great experiences, like I said, with Sunbasket and Daily Harvest. Daily Harvest is great if you want to do something like smoothies for breakfast or more vegetarian type meals. I've been doing them, and actually I'll put a plug in here to say that I've lost weight through using the Daily Harvest for my breakfast and lunch. I knew I wasn't eating well, and I knew I wasn't getting all the vitamins and such I need, and doing it that way was a huge help to me. So you get everything frozen. You can either cook it in the microwave, or in the case of the smoothie, you throw it in the blender, add a little bit of whatever type of milk you prefer, boom, it's done. So but those are really great options, and especially if you're only feeding yourself or maybe two people, the two-person meals are really affordable on really all of these, and each one also offers some different meal plans, so from gluten-free to vegan. So make sure, if you're interested, that you check around on different services to make sure you find the one that fits you the best. Roll with it. So the rollator with a seat. This is such a great tool, and I think a lot of times we look at these and we just think about, walking from point A to point B. In actuality, a lot of people like to use their rollators for more than just that. The ones with the seat, obviously, are super helpful when you're working in the kitchen. Make sure it's locked. You can use the seat to sit while you're stirring a pot, while you're chopping vegetables, whatever it is you need to do. Lots of folks have found that it's very helpful to use in the kitchen and also in the bathroom. So sit down to dry your hair, sit down to brush your teeth. Sometimes it's not, in bathrooms, you generally don't have somewhere to sit and do those things. So a rollator, if you have one and you're already using it, it's a great opportunity to use it for that as well. A rolling cart. So rolling carts, you can use them both inside the home and out, but it's great for bringing in your groceries. Take it out to the door, load it up, roll it up to your refrigerator. Also can be used for clothing. If you want to get your laundry from point A to point B, that can be easier too. And anything that's just heavy or awkward to carry, it's another great use for a rolling cart. And then, of course, wheelchair. I think that goes without saying. Give yourself a rest and go that route if that's what you need. A lot of times we think that we can push through, but that's not always the right way. So if you do need to use a wheelchair, make sure you do. Don't take any chances on falling. And the bathroom. So the bathroom can be such a challenge, I think, and maybe a little more for women than men, but a lot of folks get very wiped out when they take a shower. So get a shower chair. They have them in so many different sizes, from very small, like a stool, to more of a wide bench. It's a great way to conserve your energy, and everyone that I know that's done it has really felt that it's improved their energy when they come out of the shower. Also, don't take a super hot shower, because the heat, obviously we don't like heat, so that will help you as well. Take a cooler shower, do it while you're sitting, and you'll conserve some energy. We talked about a stool or a chair as far as sitting down to dry your hair, sitting to brush your teeth. Women sit down to put makeup on. There's no reason we have to stand during all of this. Hairbrush, hair dryer brushes. So these are always, I think these are pretty cool. It's an actual hair dryer that looks like a brush. So you are brushing your hair while you're drying it. So no more of, brushing it, then drying it, brushing it some more. You can do it all in one step. Travel hair dryers, those are going to be lighter weight than your typical hair dryers. So it's a great option if your arm gets tired from, moving it around all the time. Because I know mine's kind of heavy, but my travel hair dryer is so much easier to use. There's also a hair dryer stand that you can use, and you mount the hair dryer to it essentially, and you just move your head. That's an option too. Make sure you put grab bars in your shower. That can obviously avoid falls, and it can also make it so much easier for you to get in and out of the tub. I will admit, when I bought my house, it already had grab bars in the shower, and I thought, I'll never use those. I'm here to tell you, I use them. I feel much safer getting in and out of the shower using them, because we are at a higher risk to fall typically, weak legs. So I like to use the grab bars in my shower all the time. Brushing our teeth. You can save energy by using an electric toothbrush. It seems so small, but it actually makes such a huge difference. I know a lot of folks that have used an electric toothbrush find out at their next dental appointment that they are doing a better job also of brushing their teeth. So look into it, do some research on which ones work best. If you are a member of places like Costco or Sam's, they're always selling these in a set where you can get 6 or 7 of the different heads to go for the body. So highly recommend it. I love mine, and they travel well too. They come with a travel case most of the time, and they'll hold a charge for, I think mine has held a charge for at least a week at this point when I've traveled. So you don't have to worry about bringing the charger with you. Toilet riser with handles. That is to help you get on and off the toilet, because obviously if we have weak leg muscles, it can be more difficult. And the last thing most of us want is to be trapped on the toilet or to have to call a family member to come in and help us. So you can save your own energy by having those. They usually sit above your toilet seat and then have the handles on the side, so you can hold on and push to get up and hold on to steady yourself as you sit down. Great energy saver, and it's a good safety thing too. Putting items within reach. Try to cut down on trips. This is something that I think will speak to people in a lot of different ways. One of the things is a storage caddy for remotes, your meds, a charger. Keep that handy. Keep it by your favorite chair. Also, hospital tables. Those are the big, long tables that'll swing over your chair or your bed. Sometimes they have a compartment in them. Those are, while they may not look the best, they're really great for keeping yourself organized, for keeping the things you need at hand right there. If you work from a computer and you are sitting in your bed, much easier to have it up on a table like that. You can also keep, obviously, your medications there. One of the things I do a lot, because I have a 2-story house and I have a basement, is I will keep a basket or a bag at the top or the bottom of my stairs. So for example, going from my first floor to my second floor, there's almost always something sitting there to go up. And rather than make a special trip, it goes in the bag, and the next time I go up, or when the bag is full, everything goes up with me. So it just makes it easier to do it in one trip instead of 10, especially when you're doing things like putting groceries away, or this can go back to laundry. You could even do laundry by putting it in one of those nice reusable washable bags, set it there until you're ready to take it up on your way. And a grabber tool. I should have put a picture on here for that. This is basically, if you think of someone that's out doing some sort of trash collection, it's got a squeezy handle at one end, and it opens up on the other end, usually with rubber tipped clamps. Those are great for picking things up that are just out of reach. If you've dropped something, sometimes bending over to get what you dropped on the floor is not the easiest thing in the world. These grabber tools are great. I know last year I actually was going through a spell where I wasn't doing very well. I kept it next to where I sat in my recliner. I had the grabber, so if I had something that was just out of reach, I would use it, grab a medicine bottle. If I dropped something, it was so much easier to pick things up. So I love mine. And there are a lot of uses for them too. And occupational health and safety. So one of the things that you want to be really careful with in your house is tripping hazards. Make sure that you go through your house and clean up things like your child's toys or your pet toys. I know for one, there's always a cat toy in the floor. I put those in a toy box, and yes, the cats will go get the toys out of the toy box. So keeping that out of your way so you're not tripping is important. Cords and cables, try to keep those out of the walkway as well. And loose rugs. If it's on a hard surface, make sure that if you really have to have the rug, that it's got a no-slip backing on it. Otherwise, if you can do without the rugs, it's really a good idea to remove those. Occupational therapists, they can really help you understand how to better do things at home. They can help you if you have any type of adaptive equipment. They're really good at coming in and looking at how your house is set up and helping you find better ways of doing it. So, and those better ways are safer and conserving energy. They can also work with you on how to pace tasks, because most of us do this a lot. We say, on Saturday, I'm going to clean the house. It's not realistic for most of us to clean the entire house on Saturday. So they'll help you learn how to break that up into, maybe this day you dust and run your robot vacuum or use your stick vac, or maybe just one of those things. They can also help you plan and prioritize your tasks. What's really most important to get done right now? And if you're looking at doing things that are just really difficult, they can bring new ideas to you about how to do them. Some other ideas, one that I found from the community that I thought was important in this group is something called a U-step. It's a special walker that's designed for people with neurological conditions that are at risk from falling with a regular walker. So if you fit into that category, talk to your doctor, see if it is something that would work for you. Proper fitting shoes. Whatever you're doing at home, if you're wearing shoes, you want to make sure they're good fitting shoes. You don't want them loose. You don't want them, unfortunately, we all love flip-flops or those types of sandals. Those aren't really safe overall. So we want to try to do a good, proper fitting shoe that fits our foot, that we're not going to trip over. And balance issues, something I have found that's super helpful that has kept me being able to go out and hike are lightweight walking sticks. You can find these just about anywhere, from Cabela's to Amazon. They're lightweight walking sticks. The height is adjustable, and the end that goes on the ground, you can change it out for the type of terrain that you're on. So if you're in sand or mud, even if you're just taking a walk through your neighborhood, you can use walking sticks to help keep your balance. All right. So a low maintenance hairstyle, that means something different to everyone, but you should definitely give some thought to it, because I know for me, I had long hair. It was very long, and I realized every day I was putting it in a ponytail, and it wasn't worth it. So I cut it off. I love having short hair now. Some people do fine with long hair, so they can put it up in a ponytail, do a messy bun, whatever works for you. But try to get it as low maintenance as you can. It's amazing how much time and energy you can save when you don't have to spend time on your hair. And if you do like long hair, but drying it's a problem, check out a dry bar. Those are places that will dry your hair for you. Put a mask on, head on out, and get a lovely experience getting your hair dried and not using your energy to do it. Pillboxes. I do this, and I think it's so important to keep me on track with my meds, but divide up your morning and night doses. If you have stuff you take every single morning and then other meds you take every single night, get the pill boxes that have AM and PM marked. If you've got other doses, you can get larger ones that have afternoon dosing in there as well. You can also keep them where you are likely to take them. For example, by your bedside, keep your night meds there so that you always take your medications before you go to bed. Or if you know having them there when you first wake up, it's another good reason to keep them there. You wake up, you see your meds, you take them, you're good. I have a routine that is not fail-proof, so I need to work on this one myself. But definitely keep it where you know you're going to see it so you don't forget to take your medications. Neck pillows aren't just for traveling. A lot of folks have found that they work really well to support their necks while they're reading, watching TV, or working on a computer. Pop sockets, the MG Walk actually sent them out last year, as I recall. Those are basically a phone kickstand. It affixes to the back of your phone, which can make it easier to keep in your hand. You've got something to hold on to there other than just a slick phone. You can use it as a kickstand to watch videos and make your phone sit up. Another good option, if you love to read, but maybe your eyes aren't doing so well, use audiobooks. You can close your eyes, put some headphones on, and let someone else do the reading for you. And that is all I have for today.
Thanks, Kim. That was wonderful. We're gonna go right into the Q&A segment here. Kim, do you mind stop sharing your screen?
Oh, not at all.
I'm gonna pull up our slide deck, or Dova will. Thank you. And thank you everyone for commenting on the chat. There's some really good tips and advice in there as well. So I am really grateful for everyone for sharing in there. A couple questions that we'll get to. Where do you find a grabber with good strength that's long enough to be helpful?
So I know I got mine from Amazon, and we actually bought it for picking fruit off of, we've got some fruit trees in our backyard. That was the initial reason we purchased it, but I probably can't get it all on screen, but it's probably about that long. So 2.5, 3 feet maybe. And the price was right, so that mattered too.
Great. Okay, the next question is, how are you supposed to buy all these things with a fixed income?
And that's a really great question. One of the things that I meant to bring up too on the food delivery services, for example, a lot of them offer discounts when you initially sign up. So you may get $30 or $10 off of the first 3 months each month. And a lot of them have referral bonuses to where if you and a friend, like you're signed up and you get a friend to sign up, you both get $25 off, for example, of your next order. So one good opportunity there is to get a group of friends and family together that are interested in using the same service, and you can get discounts that way. And a lot of times you can watch for these things if you are on the Nextdoor app. In my community, it's a great way to get items that people aren't using anymore. A lot of folks have, especially with kitchen gadgets, there's something new coming out every day. So we kind of have gadget overload, and you can find people that are parting with those for much less than retail.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Another place that is helpful for things like that is Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times people are offering contactless pickup, which is very important during COVID as well. This next question is, I'm a new mom with MG. Do you have any suggestions on safer ways to carry a baby around when you're struggling with weakness?
So I've had a few friends that have gone through that, and I know a lot of folks like to get the over-the-body crossbody carriers, especially when they're little, like newborns. It's great for snuggling, and your arms aren't going to get nearly as tired. They have other ones, and it depends on if you've got a lot of like weakness in your upper body or if it's primarily your arms that are the issue. But they have the other ones that are almost like a front pack for the baby too, that can be used on the back, but I used mine when I had it on the front, and that keeps you from wearing out your arms.
That's really helpful. Here we go. The clutter in my house just gets ahead of me, and it's hard to muster the energy to tackle it. My family, especially the kids, just make it worse. Any ideas?
Yes, kids are challenging. I'm right there with you. Kids are cats in my case, but it's really about, don't put too much on yourself. And you know, we all do the best we can to try and enforce some rules about keeping your toys put away or keeping your things put away. If it's possible to get them to confine their mess into, for example, their room as opposed to the living space, that can help. Make it easy for them to be able to clean up. Something I've used for a lot of years are just the soft-sided baskets. Put all the little toys in the soft-sided basket, and it's easy to get out of the way. And sometimes bribing them with, you know, I'll pay you. I'll pay you a couple dollars a week to keep this area clean. Make sure you put your toys or clothes or whatever away when you're done. Sometimes that can be motivational as well. And it's really trying not to be too hard on yourself too, I think. You know, a lot of us have this idea that home needs to be perfect all the time, and that's just too much pressure on yourself too. So
Right. Thank you. My bathroom is so small and hard to get around. Any suggestions for making it easier?
that's a great question. So small bathrooms, you know, try to utilize, you have to think about how you work, and that's where sometimes having like an occupational therapist to come in and review it with you, sometimes they can spot something that if we change out this, it may make your life better, whether it's an on-the-wall organizer that where you can put the things that you use every single day. I've even got something, it's over the towel rack to put my hair dryer into and all of my brushes. So it's all right there. Different things like that can help. I think organization's key when you have a small bathroom, to take advantage of any under cabinet space or wall space to be able to get things out of the way to make sure you don't have any kind of tripping hazards. And that's probably, I would probably start with an occupational therapist though.
Yeah, that's great. We hosted a webinar a couple weeks back with an OT, and that's available on the website as well if anybody wants to reference that for some suggestions as well. This next question is, do you have a favorite home cleaning recipe?
Oh boy. I take the lazy way, and I like to use Method products. I really like them. They're not heavily chemical smelling, but I know looking through like the shower cleaners, and I wish I'd kept the link to it now, but there are some really good ones. If you look up daily shower cleaner recipe, and they're basically a combination of something like vinegar as a base or alcohol as a base, but so much nicer, I think, than a lot of the really heavy chemical ones.
That's great.
I just did that with, I found a recipe on the computer, and it was to spray the glass with water, then spray it with vinegar, leave the vinegar on at least 10 minutes, then take a scrub brush and brush. I used one of those little, oh, I forgot what it's called. It has a little face on it with you scrub it.
Oh yeah, yeah, the little.
And I use, and you dip it in baking soda and you rub it on, leave it on for 10 or 20, no, that you don't leave on at all. You just scrub it and then wash it off, and it came out perfect. I was so happy.
Awesome.
Oh,
Oh yes, she has a grabber as well. Great.
awesome. Thank you. That looks perfect. We lost the volume, so we're gonna hop on to the next question. Thank you. That grabber looks perfect too. Okay, let's do one more question, which was, swallowing is difficult for me. Any cooking hacks for making things more moist or easier to swallow?
Actually, yes, a couple ideas. One, I know we actually did a presentation at the last in-person MGFA conference about swallowing and ways to improve that. One of the takeaways from that was products like Thicket, and that's thick it, but you can thicken thin liquids with that. Some people don't love the texture, but I know a lot of folks have had good luck with that, because thin liquids are the ones you tend to choke on more so, and then the thicket will give it a better consistency. But something I love for any type of baked good is going to be applesauce, as opposed to oil. And it really does keep things moist and easier. I think then it would be easier to chew. Little sips of water in between, of course, while you're eating are always good too. And I'm trying to think, marinating a lot of times. If you marinate meats, it will make them juicier. And then just don't overcook them, of course. So that's where something in a crock pot, it's going to retain the liquid, or even an Instant Pot may also help keep it juicier. So those might be some things to look into.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Kim. This concludes today's webinar. Thanks again to everyone for the questions, for the tips and comments and feedback. This was a really great discussion that we had. MGFA will be hosting this wellness series throughout the end of September, so please be on the lookout for additional invites. You can also go to the MGFA website to view webinars that have already been recorded. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.